Everyone, welcome back to another multiplayer video for Warhammer. This is going to be a 2v2 with me and Surreal. We actually just played a lot of matches, so it's going to be quite a lot of 2v2s here in the next week or so. We are both playing as the Wood Elves, and I am still trying to just play them, differently than other armies. So I got a spread out army here. We have a group of Hawk Riders, a Glade Lord, the one that has the Arrow of Kronos ability, because I think that's just the superior one. Well, anyway, we also have a Spellslinger of Shadows. I took the Pit of Shades, the hero or the single target debuff, and the Miasma, the damage over time that also slows. We also have a Glade Rider with Hagbang tips. We have 4 of the Dryads, 1 here, 3 in the back. This this is a decoy, or it's all trap. That's what that is supposed to be. We also have 2 Way Watchers and then 2 Way Stalkers. All of our games are played on Ultra Funds, just so we can all have a little bit more fun and bring a lot of different varied units. So you're going to see a lot of money worth in these armies. So again, we brought 2 Way Watchers and then 2 Way Stalkers. I think these are too overpriced for what you get in like normal funds, but since I had a lot of money to spend, I was like, let's just do this. So all these units currently have Stalk, and these 2 are armor piercing. Then in the forest, or this little grove of trees here, we have 4 units of the Wild Riders and also a Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. Back here for Surreal's army, we have a line of Eternal Guard with shields. We have the Waystalker, Durthu, an Ancient Tree Man, 3 Treekin, 2 of the Glade Riders, both with Hagbang tips, and then 4 of the Hawk Riders. For the enemy here, front lines of mostly spears for both armies. You have some swordsmen over here as well. Then we have, amongst both of them, there are 5 handgunners, 4 quarrelers amongst both of them. We have 3 halberdiers back here, a Luminarch of Heesh, 3 Hellstorm rocket batteries, Demigryph Knights with halberds. Then we also have a Great Cannon. Yes, we have a Great Cannon, Bright Wizard, General of the Empire, and who's Karl Franz, I believe. Yes, an unmounted Karl Franz is over here leading this army. And then over here in the forest, we have 4 Knights of the Blazing Sun. Not a bad knight to bring against the Wood Elves, simply because they do have fire damage, so good choice there. And those are going to be the army makeups. I'm trying to build skirmishing-centric armies and not your kind of standard army, because you can see we're not in just a line here. We're kind of spread out all over the place. And this steam tank, oh, by the way, they have a steam tank, is riding out in front of this army. So my Glade Lord and then my 2 Way Stalkers are going to be using their Arrow of Kronos ability to try and pin that down, or destroy it, basically. And you can see we dealt a lot of damage. And again, I saw that these knights were over here, and I saw that they were going into the trees. So I'm like, well, let's just extend the Dryads a little bit. So we're going to be like, oh no, I'm misclicking. I didn't mean to send them over there. Going to pull back our actual stalking group, getting our Glade Riders in range, Hawk Riders, Glade Lord, acting like I'm trying to support the Dryads, and these, the Knights of the Blazing Sun, they don't know that these units are here, so they're going to charge my Dryad group, my poor Dryad group, who was clearly just not meant to be there, right? Just totally not. And then I'm like, air trap, and when we come out of the forest, all 4 of our Wild Riders are going to be going out here. Our Hawk Riders are going to be shooting into them. Our Way Watchers, Way Stalkers. I didn't get my Glade Riders here. I'm going to cast that Miasma, which is going to slow one of these groups. And again, this was a trap, and we caught them in it. But they are going to withdraw, but we will be able to catch this group. Because you see, we are going to net them with the prey of, what's it called, Anathrema, and that is from our Glade Lord. So they are going to be stuck in place, and we're going to surround them and destroy them, as the other 3 of the Knights of the Blazing Sun, also there's stuff going on over there we'll get to later, are going to withdraw back closer to their Imperial lines and the safety of their handgunners and the crossbowmen. But these groups, they are not going to make it home. So now my trap has been sprung. My enemy knows that I do have Wild Riders. We're going to now pull out now that we have totally routed that one group. Keeping my Dryads back because I don't need them up front right now. We're just in this kind of skirmish phase at this point. The Dryads that got charged, still alive, by the way. In case you're wondering about their safety, they did make it through. We're going to do another salvo of the Arrow of Kronos on the steam tank. And after 2 salvos from 3 different units, it's already at half health. The Arrow of Kronos ability may be too good. I don't want to... Actually, I don't really want to say that. The Wood Elves need, I think, the Arrow of Kronos ability to be there. You can see that the Bright Wizard is going to try and cast a Fireball, but we're just going to be like, nope. We're just going to be bloop. And then our Wild Watch is going to go bloop, and they're going to be into the forest that the Knights used to be in. We're going to try and get some skirmishing done with the Hawk Riders in the flank of this enemy army. Also, our Way Stalkers and Way Watchers are trying to get some shots on the Knights of the Sun, who are then going to charge us again. We're going to hit this one group with the other Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, slowing them down a little bit. And seeing them coming out to charge again, we're going to get our Wild Riders, but this time we're going to try and hit them like this. With them on this side, our Wild Riders are going to come in like this. So we're wanting to cut them off from their army. And that is what I'm going to be doing. They are overextending since they saw our Weight Watchers. They're like, oh, easy, you know, archers to murder. And then we're going to pull up our Dryads to reinforce and hold them so they don't get to our Weight Watchers. And then we're just going to come in behind. And we're going to make sure that we cut them off from the Empire army over here. We're going to make them pay dearly for their charge. Our Dryads' lives will not be in vain. You can see the enemy is trying to withdraw. We're going to hold them in place. We're going to start charging them with the Wild Riders. We're just kind of riding down and then go. Boom, boom. And that's what we're going to be doing. You can see they're trying to get around and get back to the Empire lines, but nope, we have cut them off. I love these map tools. Just love them. I'm going to cast another one of the miasma spells on them, and you can see that all three of these knights are going to break. A couple of them will rout permanently, but then the other one will not, and we're going to chase them off. One of our groups is going to chase off these riders to like way over here, and then we're going to pull them back eventually. Meanwhile, we get another salvo on the steam tank, so it is very close to death at this point. The Great Cannon and the Steam Tank, I think, have only been firing at our heroes and then our Dryads, because those have been the things that have been mostly within sight that they can hit. None of those units I really care to protect. Obviously, since I've thrown the Dryads' lives in danger multiple times already, but that's what they are there for. So you see we have crushed all 4 Knights of the Blazing Sun at this point with our Wild Riders and our trap tactics, basically. And again, these units are in stalking mode. They are in stalking mode, so they don't know that they are there. Although they did get some damage on our Weight Watchers there. Going to pull back our Dryads because their work is done for now. And I believe I'm going to get our Wild Riders back over here. You can see our Glade Guard is getting into position to just kind of fire into the general over here. Unfortunately, right here, I was micromanaging other things, so I didn't see this. This is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate that I did not notice that until the very end. So that one comet spell from the Bright Wizard, which I never even see, just destroyed this Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. They're still alive, technically, but they took a lot of damage. It's unfortunate. So my Glade Lord is now going to try and fire into the General of the Empire as well, but we get a little too close to these handgunners. Just a little bit too close. Going to cast the Pit of Shades over here on these handgunners from our Shadow Spellsinger. And it really doesn't do that much. I guess just because they weren't densely packed enough. Over here we get another salvo from our Weight Watcher, or Weight Stalkers. Weight Watcher. Yeah, Weight Stalkers. And the Glade Lord into the Steam Tank. And then we're going to hit them with the Weight Watcher's spells. And you can see they're going to cast a Flame Pillar, which I'm going to have to try and move away from here soon. Hopefully. I think I move at some point. There we go. But we're just trying to destroy what remains of the Steam Tank. Wild Riders should be... Where are they? I guess they're just hanging out back here. But there we go. Flame Pillar drop. Did do some damage. And here our Wild Riders came back from chasing this unit. I thought I got them off the field at this point, but they actually come back from routing, which is unfortunate. Meanwhile, this entire time, there's a whole battle going off over here. Again, we'll get to that here in a moment. I'm just trying to do this skirmishing thing over here with these what else, but there's some hard engagement going on behind the camera right now. Like it's dirty. Like you can't show it on TV. It's too much for TV. Bad things are happening over there. But yeah, we're just going to be skirmishing still. They're going to try and cast another one of those comet spells, but this time I'm going to notice it and move our forces out of there. Getting our Glade Riders over here to try and get some damage on these crossbows who are facing this way. So we are getting some nice side shots over there with them and the Hawk Riders. Getting our Wild Riders over here into the forest. Way Stalkers are still just doing their thing and firing at units that are in range without getting too close to their skirmishing. And we still just try to apply shots here and there against their General of the Empire, I think. Yeah, so we're shooting them again. You see the Great Cannon is trying to fire at our hero, but it's hard to fire at a flying unit. And at this point, my enemy is going to send out their flyers, their General of the Empire and the Bright Wizard, because we are just a lone Glade Lord over here. They're going to cast a buff on themselves, I believe, but I'm going to net them in the air. Then I'm going to charge them. Also, I debuffed them, I believe. Yeah, the Enfeebling Foe. So their combat stats have been lowered. But then I took 2 hits, I believe, right here, and I deemed that as too much damage, so I'm going to actually withdraw from this fight. A lot of stuff going on. Still getting some skirmishing done on the enemy lines over here. Got a little too close to these crossbowmen, so we're going to have to withdraw our Wild Riders. Trying to get our Way Stalkers and Way Watchers over here to apply damage to the General of the Empire. You can see our Glade Lord did that arrow Kurnos right to his face. I'm not sure where these arrows were going, but they missed. And all those arrows not even hitting. This person didn't even move. You know, for being 1200, I need these Weight Watchers to be able to hit flying units even if they're flying. You know? Like, there is just no dodging them. They're 1200. Like, they are so damn expensive. It's ridiculous. They're good, but they're too expensive. They can't be lowered too much because then they'll be kind of very strong. I won't say OP, but very strong. But for right now, they just cost way too much to be viable in most situations. Now, over here, I'm sending 3 of our Wild Riders to assist in the fight that has been going on with Surreal. So I think this will be a good time to pause it here. And we're going to watch this fight again, but now from Surreal's point of view. So over here, you can see that the Hawk Riders are going to kind of take the backdoor path, and I believe they can just fly right over here, and they're going to get actually behind the enemy's lines, which is very scary for any player to have so many Hawk Riders that have decent missile damage and also melee damage, armor piercing if they need to. We also got the 2 Glade Riders heading back there. Meanwhile, the main line of the Eternal Guards with shields are going to go up closer to the front line of the Imperial player there, being led by the Waystalker and the Durthu, the greatest tree who ever treed. He is just so cool. I love the animation of the treeman. Just so cool. Meanwhile, the Eternal Guards are going to get peppered by the 3 Hellstorm rocket batteries that this enemy player has. And the Luminarch of Hish, I think, fires at Durthu? I think that's what he does. You see the Waystalker ability going off on the Hellstorm rocket batteries. I almost called it the Hellblaster volley gun, which did technically get buffed. By the way, just random. Meanwhile, over here, we see that the 4 Hawk Riders have made it into the forest behind the enemy lines, along with the 2 of the Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, so that means they have poison damage applied to them. So far as Surreal cannot see the Demigryph Knights of Halberds, and there now he can, so that is a surprise. This Spearman and the Swordman unit are kind of extended a little too far. Also, fighting in the forest kind of gives protection to the Wood Elves here from the enemy artillery fire, because the artillery will be hitting, you see, like, hitting on the trees there. Also, the trees will be blocking some of the handgunner fire. Meanwhile, behind them, we have all of these skirmishing units behind trying to take out the Hellstorm rocket batteries. You can see the handgunners are going to be firing into them, but from their angle of fire, some of their shots, not all, but some will be blocked by these trees. But not all. But some. Meanwhile, in the frontline fight over here, we have Durthu cast his Sword of Daith ability right there. Did some damage to the units around him. And the Eternal Guard, they have a lower unit count than Imperial Swordsmen. They do at least have a higher morale, so they can last longer. But in a straight-up fight, these swordsmen, you can see, are already starting to win this battle, as they should. The spearmen are geared to fighting armored large units. Oh, I missed this. A flaming skull being dropped on the Glade Riders with Hagbane tips. I think this is one of the coolest looking spells in the game, but since it's a vortex, you don't see it that often. But yeah, we had a flaming skull and a burning pillar over there. Some nice spells being represented that aren't usually used. But I did miss the charge from the 4 Hawk Riders into the Hellstorm rocket battery position, and he managed to rout off 1 or 2, I believe. Yeah, managed to rout out 2 of those Hellstorm positions. Only 1 is now currently firing. Meanwhile, the Hagbane tipped Glade Riders still back here, giving the backline of the Empire player a lot to think about as they're trying to charge them with the Spearmen and the Halberdiers. But they are slower, but I don't think he had them on Skirmishing, though. So the Glade Riders are going to get attacked here by those Spearmen. They can't pull out, though, as soon as Surreal gives the order. Meanwhile, over here, the Treekin got into the Demigryph Knights with Halberds. Even though the Demigryph Knights with Halberds are geared to destroy large creatures, the Treekin are just so damn tanky. So with them holding the position, or the Knights in bay, also the Knights are fighting in a tree, so the Knights actually have a penalty in the forest, and they are being hammered by the Eternal Guards with shields and these Treekins, so they are going to lose this fight. Meanwhile, Durthu is leading the rest of the Eternal Shields along with the Ancient Tree Man. You can see that he also summoned his Manticore. That was from Durthu because he has the Lore of Beasts, and they're going to be just kind of moving forward into these handgunners and crossbowmen. Now you can see the Halberdiers are going to be moved out of this forest to try and support the what is remaining of their ranged units. Another flaming skull being dropped on here. You can see why these spells just... Well, actually, hold on. Nipped them a little bit. These spells are very powerful, but it's just because they're so random and you have no idea where they're going to go. That's why no one uses them. And you see, it for the most part, it didn't really get to do too much damage. But if it hits a unit, it does so much. Just so much. So over here, we have the Eternal Guard and Durthu being engaged hard against the Halberdiers, trying to protect their crossbowmen and the handgunners, but the handgunners are going to get pelted by these 4 Hawk Riders that are still behind the enemy lines, just causing so much damage. And the Glade Riders here looks like, wow, actually looks like they almost got destroyed to to the bitter end. So I guess Cyril did not notice the spearmen attacking them. But hey, there's a lot to micromanage for a Wood Elf army. For any army, really, but especially a Wood Elf army. Durthu casting the Sword of Death ability again, which again is the AoE damage over time spell. More Halberds coming in to try and secure Durthu. Meanwhile, the Eternal Guard and Shriekin, or actually the Eternal Guard are rounding off for the Hellstorm rocket battery, but the Shriekin are still going to be able to win that fight against the Demigryph Knights. Luckily, Ancient Tree Man rounding off the Swordmen as well. The Hawk Riders, I think, charged in. Yeah, they charged into melee into these Crossbowmen, who are now going to be backed up by Karl Franz, who is unmounted, which you really never see. But he does do a lot of damage unmounted. Just doesn't have that mobility. One of the few Lords unmounted that still deal high armor piercing damage, so he's pretty cool. You can see they got a nice charge off there, which is actually going to rout the Crossbowmen. They did take some damage in return, but it was a very good charge. These two Hellstorm rocket battery crews are very nearby their own rockets, but they just haven't been given the orders to man them again. There we go. I think now they've been given the orders. There's a lot to think about when you're playing this game. Like when your rocket crew is routed off their rockets, you gotta put them back in there. Now you see they're being assaulted by the Clade Riders, and I guess not going onto their rockets after all. I thought they were. My bad. Meanwhile, wow, this fight lasted a lot longer than I thought it did. They're still going at it, and now Spearmen are going to reinforce their Demigryph Knight Halberd friends. That's insane that those Halberdiers are lasting so long. Oh, the Demigryph Knights, I mean. Meanwhile, just casual skirming going on over here the entire... Like, I remember watching the battle, and I was just seeing all this stuff happening over here, and I'm just... I'm just skirmishing. That's all I'm doing. Meanwhile, over here is just utter chaos. Anyway, this Ancient Tree Man who routed off that one group of swordsmen is now going to be pulled into the fight to support Durthu and these Eternal Guard. You can see the group of Knights of Blazing Sun that I chased off are going to come in behind Cyril's forces. So that is a present that I left for him to deal with, I guess. Meanwhile, the Hawk Riders are going to hard engage against these handgunners again who came back from running the Hellstorm rocket batteries and these swordsmen. Luckily enough, there's not that many swordsmen left, so they will lose this fight. Karl Franz is definitely an issue to deal with, but that is the Eternal Guard's problem, not the Hawk Riders' problem. Meanwhile, over here we have the Flock of Doom being cast by Durthu on these Halberdiers, and that is going to finish them off, and they are going to start routing from them because of the terror that Durthu exudes from his body. You can see the little skull there, meaning they have been terrified. They will come back from routing in about... There you go. So they just came back from being terrified, but since their morale was so low anyway, they are going to go into a rout. Terror is a very powerful ability. So now Durthu is free to join his Ancient Tree Man brother and the Eternal Guard to deal with the rest of the Spearmen and the Crossbowmen that were nearby. Waystalker's been here just peppering, I think? I'm not actually sure what he was peppering with the Arrow of Kronos ability, but it's been flying around here and there. Meanwhile, the update in this forest, holy sh... The Demigryph Knights with Halberds have actually routed off one of the Tree Kin. Alright, I didn't expect them to hold out this long. They are holding on to the bitter end. But hey, the Demigryph Knights. What are you gonna do? I'm not sure what this is. I think it's the Sword of Death ability. Yeah, Sword of Death right there. So you can see it lowers the enemy's armor and also causes damage over time in a wide area around Durthu. It's a really cool ability. Durthu is a very strong lord. Back over here is where my Wild Riders are going to come in to assist the cleanup duty, basically, for Cyril's battle. I'm just making sure that units that are routing or come back from routing, I'm going to charge them to make sure that they are going to break forever. You can see the Hawk Riders are doing the same thing. The Demigryph Knights are finally going to rout off the field. Durthu and friends are going to rout off these Spearmen. These Spearmen are not going to have much of a chance against 2 Ancient Tree Men and the Eternal Guard. Meanwhile, Karl Franz has fought off the Eternal Guard over here. And now you can see the General of the Empire and the other Bright Wizard from my battle is going to come over here and join them. So I'm actually going to be bringing over my Glade Lord and my Spell Singer of Shadow. I'm guessing they brought their heroes over here because they saw that I was bringing my Wild Riders over here to assist Cyril. So they're going to come down here and try to finish off Durthu. So we're going to have both Bright Wizards, Karl Franz, and the General of the Empire all on Durthu. And I'm going to be coming in behind them with my Glade Lord, Spell Singer, and my Wild Riders should be coming down from the hill. Yeah, there they are. Remember, Durthu's going to take some damage here because, again, Karl Franz and the General both have very high armor piercing damage and decent combat stats. But lucky enough, we do have them outnumbered, so we're going to be able to rout off the General of the Empire pretty quickly. Get another Wild Rider in here just to get some bodies, and I believe we do an actual charge with the Glade Lord. At some point, I think I also debuffed one of these guys. We netted Karl Franz with a... There we go, and we enfeebled Karl Franz. And I chose him because this guy was already almost dead and running, so I was like, okay, let's make Karl Franz weaker and net him in place. So General of the Empire is going to be able to fly away, but I want to say that we catch him. Actually, yeah, we do catch him. The tree can catch him right there. Meanwhile, back here, the Glade Riders are just rerouting units. This fight over here is mostly done. Then over here, we are still just skirmishing. That's all we're doing over here. The Elk Riders are going to come down from their routing units in the trees, and they're going to apply some fire onto the other Imperial Army here, who's just been held in place. I'm assuming because they're afraid to move, because I would pounce in with my Weight Watchers crew, who's still been just kind of slowly whittling them down. My Glade Guards, my Hawk Riders, slowly whittling them down. And so yeah, this was kind of just a skirmishing battle for most of this fight. You can see there's only 8 seconds left. We're going to rout off the General of the Empire. We're going to rout off Karl Franz, the Bright Wizard, and then the rest of the army, including this entire army, is going to just rout due to morale and army losses. So this army didn't even get to see combat, really, except for the skirmishing units who were fighting off with me. Very odd battle going on over here. This player really didn't want to charge me, which I guess is fine, because if they did charge, my plan was just to skirmish through the marsh. What I really wanted them to do is I wanted them to charge my position and fight in the swamps, because all the small units, all the infantry have a penalty of fighting in the swamps, and then I would just kill them with my Wild Riders, and I would just surround them and murder them. That was the plan, but they never left this damn area. So my full plan never was actually executed here. It just ended up being a skirmishing fight that I was like, okay, fine. So I eventually send over my Wild Riders to help Surreal finish his fight, and there you go. That's the end. So good game to our opponents and to Surreal. Let's take a look at the kill count. These 2v2s are just, there's so much going on. Unfortunately, with the last patch change, we can no longer select the other armies, so I can't tell you how good or bad they did. So sorry about that. So for my army, 53 kills in the Glade Lord is pretty good. Waystalkers getting almost 50 kills each is not bad. The Dryads did their purpose. They died well. So good for them. Weight Watchers didn't really get to do that many kills at all, but they did help bring down a steam tank, so that's cool. Wild Riders got some decent amount of kills. Glade Guard only 10. Not that great. Glade Riders. The Glade Guard kind of almost did worse because they got caught by that spell. Hawk Riders 17, and this poor group of Dryads was the one that was charged. For ROR over here, this is the person facing off against the real. 67 kills on Karl Franz is really good against those Eternal Guard. 32 on the Bright Wizard. Spearmen did Halberdiers are pretty good, but the skirmishing contingent just got murdered by the Glade Riders and the Hawk Riders for the most part. And then the Hailstorm Rocket Batteries. These things, I mean, this one got 89 kills, which is definitely not bad. It's just they're very unreliable. You can go for the Sunmaker. Is that the renowned unit version? And that one is actually pretty good because it spends all of its ammunition so quickly and deals its damage pretty quickly. And it's kind of accurate, so you can kind of go with that one. But normal Hailstorm Rockets are just, they're kind of, Luminarch H got shut down pretty quickly. Honestly, I didn't even see what it shot at through all that. Maybe we'll watch that again in the cinematic view and see what it shot. And then Demigryph Knights held throughout the entire battle, which is crazy. So let's go in again and watch a cinematic view of this 2v2. March of the Knights. Look really cool. Those poor Dryads. And then March of the Wild Riders. They look so much cooler because they're on stags. Those animations are so cool how they just kind of leap to and fro. And the Hawk Riders came down for some armor-piercing fun. I can't wait for the High Elves, man. I love the way the High Elves look. God, they look so cool. I mean, the Wood Elves do too. But like, just for their infantry, I think their infantry looks really cool. They're kind of like Wood Elves, but more armored. Then the second march of the Knights of the Blazing Sun. With their lightsaber lances. Once again, these poor triads. But that's what they're there for. And then the second march of the Wild Riders. Where you going? You going nowhere. Man, completely cut off. On the wrong side.
The gods have abandoned us.
Yeah, they have. So cool. Wild Riders is so cool. Then this fight. Man, I cannot believe this fight lasted as long as it did. That kitty cat. You're on fire. Where's the Luminarch of Hish? There you are. What were you doing? Like it's fired once or twice. Oh, it's obstructed. Oh, they must have just given it an attack order, not realizing it was obstructed. It was probably trying to fire at Durthu, I'm guessing. But yeah, this hill is blocking their. Oh, I see. Woo. This is what these soldiers are looking up at. Jeez. Wait a minute. Is that just a bunch of skeletons? Is that a loincloth of skeletons? Where are we? Where'd Durthu go? Hold, please. Okay, this is gonna be the thumbnail, by the way. What's a good angle? That's probably a good angle. Do we want to go from above? Live thumbnail capturing for you, folks. This is just too good to pass up. What? Okay, here, let's try and zoom in. Nah, I think we gotta go from below. I think that looks the best. You get all the blood splatter on the camera. Yeah. And then we hold for thumbnail capture. Oh, right. All right. So anyway, I normally do that after the battle, but I don't know if I'll be able to get this moment again. That's such a good moment. You are in that dude's foot. What are you doing in Durthu's foot? Anyway. Yeah, it looks like some skeletons mixed with leaves. Is his loincloth here? That's... Man, Durthu looks so cool. Anyway, on with the cinematic. He just crushed that poor gentleman with his foot. He's just giving him a hug. The last... Oh, God! I haven't seen that yet either! He just scorpioned and he's like, get over here. Oh my God. I've not seen that animation before. I want to see that again. That animation I've seen. I want to see you do the tendril thing. Yeah, I've seen that one too where you, it's cool. But I want to see the other one. Do it! Alright, that's okay. Yeah, that's really good. That's just really good. Got a lot of Durthu love in the cinematic view, but damn it, he's awesome. There he goes again! Oh god, he's crushing people left and right. Alright, what else is going on in this battle? You got some hawks over here doing shit. Karl Franz upset. Karl Franz looks pretty awesome. Gall Miraz, that's his Warhammer, right? Run! Glade Riders! Run! Oh, Hogs got you covered. Maybe they don't, actually. Ooh, Durthu caught a fireball in the face! But fireballs aren't really going to do too much to Durthu. Even though they have the flame weakness, the very high armor mitigates a lot of that damage. The things that murder tree men are going to be, like, if Demigryph Knights, if you give them the flaming sort of ruin that the Bright Wizards can cast, I don't know if that's the actual, but that buff spell, that gives you flaming damage. You put that on a Demigryph Knight with halberds, goodbye treekin, and goodbye ancient trees. Good god. That's what you want to do. Don't cast fireballs. I'm showing off Surreal's fight here because, honestly, there's, like, while I enjoyed this fight, it's not that visually entertaining. It's just a bunch of skirmishing here and there. This is where all the good shit is. Wild riders riding in the forest. They're so cool.
Ancients of the deep wood, we call you.
Alright, let's go see the final battle. All the heroes in one spot. See him do that tendril thing to Karl Franz and just throw Karl Franz's body away. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Those death animations, I believe, they do proc on enemy heroes and lords. Like they can. Pretty sure they can. I think I've seen things like that. Yeah, because I remember seeing a Azhag's mount, the dragon mount. I remember him throwing up an Ungrim Iron Fist into the air to then shoot him to pieces. Missed, but still, that's cool. You almost impaled this guy. Okay, a little friendly fire. Ooh, God, what's another fireball in the ancient treatment? And there we go. So thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that battle. And like I said, there are many 2v2s coming here in just the next week. Try to preview what's coming. I have a Midland match, my first match with Boris. There's another Wood Elf one, maybe two. What else did I do? God, there's so many. Vampire accounts, bringing Mousillon again with the Red Duke, and then a couple others. So, yeah, look forward to all that this coming week. And thanks again for watching. I will see you all next time. Take care.